Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I'm Bobo. Inside of this video, I'll be showcasing every single domain expansion, and then I'll be ranking them inside of a tier list. So if you guys end up enjoying this video, like and subscribe. My current goal is 60,000 subscribers. If we can get that, I'd greatly appreciate it. Once when we hit 55k, I'll be doing a massive giveaway inside my Discord, so make sure you join that and also subscribe to the channel. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into it. Alright, so starting off the very first one, we have Celestial Opera. This is going to be Yuki/Star Rage's domain, and I personally have this one, so I can tell you exactly what this one does. Personally, I think it's like by far the coolest one. That's why I personally got this one. But basically what it does, right, is it applies an effect on every single, like, whoever's in it gets an effect, and you guys see this little black effect on them. Basically, it's some gravity thing, and basically it makes them take 10% more damage. So anyone that's in here takes 10% more damage while they're in here. And it also boosts your speed, it boosts your damage like every domain does. But what it also does is, if you guys don't know, if you guys don't have Star Rage, then obviously you won't know. But Star Rage has moves that like have certain mass, right? The more you use the moves, the more mass you get, and then once when they're max mass, they get a special cool version that does way more damage. Well, when you're in this domain, any move that has a mass version, like when you're max mass, it changes. Any move that has that will automatically be in that form, and you can spam it for as long as you want, and they have less cooldowns. So that is low-key insane for PvE, and low-key PvE or PvP too, because you will just be doing insane damage because you have your charged up versions of like all your moves. And I think there's like 3 moves that have the charged up versions, so it's definitely pretty good. And then that move has a 140-second cooldown, just like every other domain. So yeah, that one is my like one that I personally use, and that one I'll be giving, honestly, I think personally I'll give it S tier, because it is very strong. It gives them a 10% damage debuff. It gives the moves, you know, their stronger version that do just insane damage. And then you also get the buffs. I personally think that's an S tier. I think it's personally, I would probably put it top 3, top 4 in the game at the current moment. But yeah, let me wait until the cooldown's off so I can show you guys the next one. Alright, the next one that we do have that I'm going to personally be showing is going to be Malevolent Shrine. This is the one that basically everyone says is the best one inside the game because of the just raw damage that it does to the block, right? Now, this domain is very good. It does a lot of damage, and it does a lot of block damage. Like, you can guard break people so easily inside of this domain. And it does damage, right? It does damage. It does okay damage. I won't say that it's like 100% you're going to kill someone damage, but it's not bad damage at all. You guys can see, like, that is a decent amount of damage. And if someone blocks, then it's just gonna fry their block, and you can just easily, you know, like, kill them after. And then you also get your normal damage buff, speed buff, things like that. But yeah, it's mainly used for breaking people's blocks inside of PvP. PvE, you can use it whenever you want and just, you know, kill bosses, kill NPCs, do whatever with it. And it's very good for that as well. But yeah, it's definitely like very, very strong in PvP because it just fries people's blocks. If they don't block, then it's just going to do insane amount of damage to them. This one is very strong. I'm going to be giving this one an S tier. A lot of people consider this one like the best domain in the game, and honestly, for pretty good reason, I won't lie. Alright, the next domain that we have is going to be Mahito. Now, I'm not going to lie, this domain is low-key weird. Basically, what this domain does is buff one of the moves that you have with Mahito. I believe it buffs Soul Touch, which is okay, but that's like all that it really does. I won't lie, that's all it really does. It buffs Soul Touch, and that's pretty much it. It gives you more speed and more damage, but that's literally all it does. It buffs one move, and gives you more idle transfiguration like stats. I don't personally use this, so I can't really tell you how good it is, but idle transfiguration in general really isn't that good. It's low-key like one of the worst, if not the worst, special grade. So yeah, I don't really know how to feel about this one. I mean, it looks alright, I guess. Not really. Like, this one's kind of boring. It doesn't really do anything special, at least not compared to the last two. especially when you're comparing it to Star Rages and when you're comparing it to Satunas. This one is definitely way more lame because you're really just not really getting as much, you know, input out of it compared to Celestial Opera or Malevolent Shrine. The self embodiment is not really nearly as good, in my opinion. You guys can feel free to disagree, but I just don't think that one's very good. I'm gonna give it maybe a C tier, a D tier. It might be the worst one of the game. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, it's not gonna be very high on the list at all. It's still gonna be a domain. It's still gonna be a domain, so it's still gonna be good. But if we're comparing it to the other domains, it's just not that good. Alright, the next domain that we do have is going to be JoJo's, which I do believe is an actually pretty decent one just for being a legendary. But here you guys can see, this is the domain right here. A decent animation. I do believe the people do burn in this. I'm not 100% certain. Actually, this animation is really nice for a legendary. But yeah, I do believe the people burn in here. I believe that is one of the effects, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, you just see it. They're burning. They take damage. It's basically like Satuna's, but it also buffs one of the moves. It gives like one of the moves more range or something. Okay, this one's really good. This is like a really good domain. I won't lie, because it still gives you your damage buff. It's doing damage over time. It's burning them. And then it buffs one of the moves as well. This is actually a really good domain. I'm gonna be putting this one in like probably A tier. Probably A tier because this one's actually really good and especially good for PvE. Yeah, I'm gonna give this one like an A tier. Pretty good. It's not Satuna's. It doesn't attack nearly as often. But it is still a very, very good one. Alright, so the next domain that we have is actually a very interesting one. It's gonna be Judge Man's, and Judge Man's is a very confusing one because yes, it is very good. Judge Man it's an insane domain, right? But at the same time, it's RNG. You literally have to play rock, paper, scissors. And if you lose, you just get normal domain buffs. If you tie, they lose their abilities and you get normal domain buffs. If you win, then you get Executioner Sword, which is like an OP weapon, and you're super strong. So no matter what, you get the normal buffs of doing more damage, right? And low-key, if you tie, it's brain dead, because then they literally can't use any techniques or anything like that. For PvP, this one might be the best one, because them not being able to use their techniques, it's basically like GG, right? And then once we get Executioner Sword, it's even more GG. But at the same time, it is an RNG domain. So it is a very interesting domain. I don't really know how to feel about it. I'm going to be personally, if JoJo is an A tier, this one's either a low A tier or a high B tier, in my opinion. I think it's good, and I think it can be insane, but it is pure RNG, so that's why it's like 50-50 to me. But yeah, very good. High B, low A. Pretty good. Alright, so I know I said Satuna and all those ones might be the best domains of the game, but Unlimited Void, I just read it inside the Trello, and tell me why this domain said that it immobilizes anyone that's in it for a few seconds, or for a duration. So you're telling me if I pop this in PvP, and someone's stuck inside of it, they're just stunned, and they can't do nothing about it, and I don't know how long it lasts. It might be 5 seconds, it might be 10 seconds, it might be 15, I have no idea. Even if it was only like 3 seconds, you can still start a whole combo. And in PvP, a whole combo is so much damage. Now in PvE though, this domain 100% sees way less use. Against a boss, against really anything, it's not as useful as how it is in PvP. But yeah, nah, PvP, this one's low-key brain dead. Just you can, no matter what, start a combo. And that is insane, I can't lie. This one, definitely going to be S tier, 100% it's S tier. So far we have Star Rage, Satuna, and Dojo's in the S tier. And I know that there is one more S tier, but it's not any of these ones that we have. I think you guys probably know what the last S tier that we have is. But yeah, this one, very good. Very good. I can't lie. Stunning them is low-key insane. And why did it last so long? That one lasted way longer. But yeah, very good. Very good domain. That one's definitely S tier. Very good, very good. Alright, the next domain that we have is going to be the Hydra one. Now, I was reading the Trello, and this one doesn't seem bad. It puts a wet effect on them, which basically makes the enemy slower and make them do less damage. And then it also makes one of the moves, like, have a sure hit, where it just hits, like, basically everyone. It auto-treads and does that. And then it boosts your damage and does, I think, more speed. Whatever the normal domain buffs are. It's not bad at all, actually. The wet status effect is pretty good. The fact that it buffs a move is pretty good. I'm going to be giving this one like a C tier. It's not self-embodiment. Like, it's better than self-embodiment, I would say. But at the same time, it's not good. It's not a good domain in any way. But at the same time, it's not a bad domain. If you get what I'm saying. Not bad, not good. Around a C tier. Not anything special. Should you waste a domain shard on it? No. Definitely not. But, I mean, hey, if you want to get it at some point and you're maxed out and you have every other domain in the game, go ahead. Go ahead, bro. It's not that good, though. Alright, so the last one that we have out of these ones that I have equipped is going to be Utas. Utas is cool. It's a very, very interesting one for sure. Because it basically gives you a sword. I believe, yeah, it gives you a sword. And this sword, well, for some reason, okay, so yeah, you grab the katana, and then it gives you some random moves that you can use, like, once. And then you grab the sword again, and then you just do more random moves. Right? So, like, if you get good rolls, it's gonna be good. And right now, I'm low-key actually getting some good rolls. But yeah, basically every, like, 5 seconds, you're getting some random moves. Which is interesting, because I just got hollow goddamn purple. So it can be very good. Because you can literally get any move in the game. But I'm pretty sure, I don't know. It's an interesting one. I don't know as far as how good it is, because that one's pretty much all RNG as well. I mean, you can just use your actual moves, but it's not like it stuns them or gets rid of the enemy's techniques or anything like that. That's all that it does, right? Which is good. Don't get me wrong. It is very good, but it's kind of 50-50. I would put that one probably B tier. I'd probably put that one B tier. I won't lie. It's not that crazy. Let's see. Does it do anything else? Let me read it. Why is DoorDash open? Holy shit, I'm fat as fuck. Gain the ability to summon katanas. This will grant you extra innate techniques. Each katana will reroll these. So yeah, it's not like it like limits. It just gives you more techniques. That's all it does. So yeah, that one's gonna be like a B tier. It's honestly not that crazy. And now we have possibly the best domain in the game, Idle Death Gamble. The reason why this is the best is because you need no domain charge, and it has the shortest cooldown. The problem with it is, once again, it's a gamble type one, right? You either, well, let me see. Let me go read it right here. We can actually read what this one does, but I would say this one is like the best one of the game. Okay. Idle Death Gamble, right? Damaging your opponent in this domain will fill up your fever meter at the bottom of your screen. After this is filled up, once when the domain expansion ends, you'll enter fever mode. While in this domain, the user's defense is lowered. But this domain has a 40-second cooldown. So that means it's basically broken as hell. And you guys can read up here what fever meter does is you go inside this mode and basically your HP will regenerate at a super fast rate. Your cooldowns will be reduced. You'll gain speed and overall damage, and you'll just be OP as hell. So, is it good? Yes, completely 100% it is good. You can pop it very often, so it's very good against bosses. It's very good against actual people, because you can pop it that often. You need no domain bar, so you don't have to charge up your domain bar. And all that you have to do during it is damage people. Pretty insane. Pretty insane. You guys see, I unfortunately don't really have anything to really damage people right now. But even me, with just one weapon, to get my fever meter pretty high up, right? It would only take 2 domains with just weapons by itself. So imagine, like, if you have actual innates, you will get fever meter in 1 domain, especially if you have barrier mastery, which I don't. So yeah, very, very good. Very good domain. I would probably put this one number 1 SS tier. It's going to be the only SS tier. So my personal tier list. Now that we've done showcase every single one, my personal tier list. This is going to be my personal tier list. Okay. At number 1, we have Akari. At number 2, we have Sukuna and Star Rage tied. At number 3, we have Dojo. Now the only reason why Dojo is 3 instead of 2 is because we're talking about PvE and PvP. If we're talking about just PvP, then he is 100% number 2 with Sukuna, and Star Rage goes down to number 3. Number 4 is going to be Volcano, and then I'm going to be 100% honest, the rest don't matter. Let's be real, the rest don't matter. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you guys end up enjoying it, I know it's a little bit of a long one. I had to showcase all the domains. But yeah, inside the comments, leave down your thoughts, what you think the best domain is, things like that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.